Hello and welcome to another beautiful episode of Softline. I'm Nancy Banigo, and with me today I have the funkiest grandma. Just
Hello.
I don't know if she's actually funky.
It's like that funky, don't begin there.
No, you are still the funkiest grandma. Hi, funky grandma.
Oh, Nancy. Fine, I'm fine. And hello, viewers. Glad to be with you today again. The weather is really
Yeah,
biting bad,
yeah. It's
especially
cold.
on me. Biting bad. I'm believing I'm going to be fine very soon.
All right, so
Very
funky mama,
soon.
the
Yeah.
rains are here again. Like you said, the weather, it's cold and everything. And there has been warning about floods. It's just like every year we get this warning about flood. And just yesterday, this devastating flood in Lagos State, Ikorodu, everywhere was so flooded, houses submerged, you know. Here we are again talking about flood. And some areas have been mentioned, Akwa Ibom, one of them, you know. So I don't know what people from those areas, places like Eket,
Okay.
Ikom,
You
what those people
come
will
in
be
Calabar.
in Calabar,
in,
yeah.
Cross River, rather.
I just wonder what they'll be going through now, you know, trying to relocate, leave their properties, because the one that happened in Lagos and other parts of the country, not just in Lagos, just as Lagos own yesterday was trending online, but we have other
Okay.
states too, you know. So I'm wondering what those people are doing now, trying to relocate their properties and everything. It's a sad one.
You know, sometimes when I see flood on the television, in other countries of the world, and I see how they lose a lot of properties, and then the families are like confused, and I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why that it really happens. You know, but when we watch on TV and we see the way these things are happening, people's homes in ruins and all of that. Then coming to hear about it happening in Nigeria, and you hear it here in Akwa Ibom State where we are. The one I experienced, was it last week?
Oh, really?
Yeah, last week here within the town. A lot. The flood was high rated. The flood was really high rated, and you see people all over the streets of the town trying to see how they can. You don't even see what is happening to their homes. You see what is happening on the streets.
I tell you.
You know.
But the ones on the streets that I have witnessed, you know, sometimes this thing just come within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
As soon as the rain stops.
Stops. It just.
Yes, you know. So I don't know. These ones that don't go away, like the houses, just imagine this.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite sad. And flooding has become like an annual thing in Nigeria.
Thing in Nigeria.
Every year we get. Remember what happened last year? You know, there was so much report of death. I remember the one in Niger State where we lost so many lives and properties. You know, so people are just trying to. I'm sure those people are still. Most of them are still in the. What they call it?
Yeah, in the
Camp.
okay.
You
okay.
know, in camp, trying to recover from what happened to them last year. And here we are again, still talking about flood. I know flood is not peculiar to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Even Western world, they do experience that. I remember the one that happened in Texas. So it's not a new thing. It's not peculiar to Africa and all that. But I was wondering if there's a way, you know, if there's something that we can do, that can be done, you know, to stop or to reduce the impact of flood in these parts of the world. You know, it's a sad situation.
When we say the government should, everybody say, oh, everything is on the government. Everything is on the government. What do? We are depending on the government.
Yeah, it's like Nigerians like anything government.
Yeah, everything government. What do we do? And also, what do we do? Flood is taking over the whole nation. And people are suffering.
People are suffering. People are actually suffering.
But sometimes you look at where you are, you thank God that you're not even experiencing such things.
Yeah.
But it keeps going to a lot of places around you. You hear, you see, and say what?
Sad.
Yeah,
it's a sad situation. Yeah. But the good thing is that these warnings, you know, are there. So people living in those areas, even though it's not easy. But it's better you're alive to tell the stories than staying there and witnessing the whole thing and losing your life in the process.
And nothing is happening.
Even though it's tough, but I think it's better to evacuate.
Yeah,
stay afar and watch. If it doesn't destroy your properties, you can always go back. And even if it does, there's always, once there's life, there's always hope. You can always rebuild. So I think people should yield to these warnings. You know, try to leave your area if it was mentioned among those high risk areas that we have mentioned by the NEMA. All right. I just pray, that the destruction will be less.
Yeah, will be less this time. God have mercy.
Amen. Amen. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll introduce our guests as well as our topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Now here's some exciting news. ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms on Avo TV app, ADBN channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Limex World TV app, ADBN TV. Get the latest news straight to your phone. Join our WhatsApp channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across our social media handles on X at ADBN_TV, Instagram at ADBN_TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV_NG, and keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
In the heart of Uyo, two young women with big dreams and even bigger egos are about to turn everything upside down. Meet Mfong
Eyo Dudu, aka
the brokest rich babe in Akwa Ibom, and Mena, the worry girl who's convinced she's Uyo's finest. Thrown together by fate, they are living the dream and trying not to kill each other. In a city full of hope, hustle, and hilarious missteps, they'll learn that sometimes the only way to make it is by sticking together.
But it's so hard not to lose hope.
I know.
Akpo Songudong, when everything's already wrong, what can possibly go right? And with their band of crazy friends and flatmates,
I was joking earlier. I'm your lady.
You are the caretaker.
all you get is more spice, more drama, more laughter.
I was just with my brother. yes, I have a new brother.
Lots of brothers in here. Wow.
Get ready for the funniest ride of your life. Akpo Songudong, where dreams meet reality. What could go wrong? Everything.
So you see, these are our billionaire dreams. You don't go ever die. Tomorrow, we go harder. We go harder.
Akpo Songudong, showing every Saturday and Sunday, 3 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Only on ADBN TV.
Thanks for being there and welcome to our discussion today on the power of breast milk. Breast milk is often referred to as a liquid gold. I know you know that, and for a good reason also. It's packed with nutrients, antibodies, and benefits that can have a lasting impact on the baby's health and development. So today, we were exploring the amazing advantages of breast milk, debunking common myths, and sharing valuable insights from experts in that field. So joining us today is Dr. Ekomo Bong Udo. He's a senior registrar obstetric and gynecologist at the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital. Dr. Obong, right? I can say Obong. Obong. But if I don't want to say Ekomo Bong, am I shortening it? Ekom. Oh, okay. Yes. Dr. Ekom, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right.
Welcome, doctor.
Thank you very much.
When we're trying to discuss breast milk, one will be expecting a female doctor. Well, here we are having a but it's good, it's balanced, so we have two mothers at least been through that process so we can represent the women folk. All right, so doctor, let's start with myth and misconceptions, because I know there are lots of them out there and I'm sure you want to debunk some of them. So can you tell us some of those myths about breastfeeding out there you would like to debunk today on the show?
First is the popular word that it does not satisfy
a baby. Yeah, quite very popular.
Yes, and I would say that's very wrong, because in fact the first breast milk, what we call the colostrum, for a baby, that one that is gotten within the first few hours after birth, it's very, very nutritious, contains a lot of antibodies, minerals that keeps the child, the baby, immune for the next 6 months of breastfeeding. So it's actually very important, and it contains proteins and calories that keep the baby satisfied without any other meal being added. So it's that myth of it not satisfying the baby is very wrong. It's very wrong.
But why doesn't it actually last?
No, that colostrum. The colostrum don't last. It will not last that long because it's very little. It just contains enough to keep the baby immune. Yes, for that, immune for that period. So that's why it's very important. The first few hours after birth, you try to breastfeed the baby so that the baby can get that colostrum. And afterwards, and afterwards continue with the subsequent breast milk that would.
Now, doctor, you know, I know you have other misconceptions, but let's talk a little bit about this one that it doesn't satisfy the baby.
Yes, that's a very popular one.
Yeah. So why do you think it's like that?
Because people most persons they want to equate the baby with the adult, or they want to see the baby as an adult. It's a mini adult, so you feel baby is just taking water. It's not water baby is taking. So that's more like the way they see it. But in the medical profession, it's not like that, because that's what you call the liquid gold. That's actually the colostrum we're talking about. That liquid gold is yellowish. It contains lots of protein, minerals, vitamins, and antibodies that from the mother that actually protects that baby against some diseases that might occur during that period, that's first 6 months. And that's why it's advised that within the first 6 months we exclusively breastfeed the baby.
Okay, so are there other misconceptions?
I think that's a very popular one. I know. I don't know if you know anyone I can debunk.
No, I never even thought about that.
Oh, okay.
No, I never thought that.
Okay, so there is this thing, because I know the after giving birth, that few hours, it's difficult for some women to lactate, right? Yes. So, and sometimes they say, the baby is too hungry, and they end up, feeding the baby with other things like milk and all that. Yes. And so now that the baby's tummy that it's supposed to be occupied firstly with that first milk has been occupied with other milk. Now when that's, what did you call it?
The colostrum.
Colostrum. When it comes in, does it still have an impact? Because the baby has already taken artificial.
You see, that's one of the reasons why we usually advise women to deliver at a health facility, in a health facility where you have the guidance of health professionals, and not necessarily at some places where those guidance will not be given, because that colostrum is very, very important. It actually acts as a laxative to actually help the baby to defecate, that is past the first two, the meconium that has been in the baby's gastrointestinal tract. So it does a whole lot. So if the baby misses that, and sometimes because of how the women, passing through labor and all that, the pains and all that, most times they don't get to lactate immediately, and it's one of the reasons why, if it were to be in the hospital, there will be nurses there to guide you to ensure that the baby lashes on that breast milk for as long as possible. All you need to do is just keep the baby in a good position to assess the breast milk. Over time, as the baby keeps sucking, there's this milk let down reflex that occurs from the hypothalamus down to the pituitary, and then to the giving rise to the milk to flow. And over time, as the baby lashes on it, this reflexes occurs, and it boosts the chances of the breast milk coming out. But when you just keep the child out there and you say, yeah, breast milk is not coming it won't come. It won't come as long as that baby is not lashing on that breast, not sucking on that breast. It will not come, because a reflex, there's a mechanism, there's a reflex that's supposed to be sent for it to start flowing. Yes.
All right, thank you, Mama. You want to go?
Yeah. Okay, when you asked about any other kind of milk, I remember I learned something about the other types of.
Yes, there are other types of
milk.
Breast milk. The colostrum is the first one. Then we have the transitional breast milk. Those ones within the 2nd to 4th day of life after giving birth. That one suffices. That one is usually thinner, low in fats and protein. And then after a while, towards the 2nd week of childbirth, the matured breast milk now starts being produced, and it's usually in 2 phases: the fore breast milk and the hind breast milk. The one that comes out when the baby starts sucking, and the one that also is expressed before the baby stops sucking. So they are different.
All right, so let's talk about, because I know if every year we talk about breastfeeding, try to create awareness about breastfeeding. There's a problem, then that means people are actually not breastfeeding. And we have seen statistics. We've seen many women do not breastfeed, at least exclusively. So can you tell us some of those challenges? Why mothers do not like to exclusively breastfeed their babies?
One of them is for cosmetic or aesthetic reasons. So let me use that word. So they'll tell you, the baby will suck on my breast, and my breast will now start saggy, and then I'll start having issues at home with my husband. So they have that. Some women want to be protected. They don't want to have anything that would spoil their marriage. They want to make sure that they're still keeping it the way it was.
But is it true?
It's wrong. It's very wrong, because the breastfeeding is important for the child. And you will not, because of wanting to avoid your breast not being the way it was when you were still a single mother, you deprive your baby from accessing that very important milk that is going to be beneficial for his or her development. So it's a wrong notion, and we try to tell them that when you start, usually we employ the 3 P's. Or should I say, yes, let me use the word 3 P's. You practice. You keep practicing, and then you have to be patient, because if you are not patient, you will not be able to. You have to be really patient during breastfeeding, and then you have to be persistent. Keep doing it. Over time, it gets used to you. Over time, it's because the more you do it, the easier the milk flows. And then at some points, you will be the one even controlling the flow, because it will be coming out more. So, and giving the baby we usually advise exclusively for at least 6 months. It's highly beneficial. Highly beneficial.
So apart from the aesthetic reason why women do not like to breastfeed, what are the other reasons?
Some of them, maybe they are on drugs that probably may not allow, or is not allowing the breast milk to come to flow. Sometimes maybe the trauma of labor pains and all that may not be convenient enough for them to breastfeed. So, and that's why the theme of this year's breastfeeding week is trying to create a sustainable support system for mothers during the period of breastfeeding. Yes, because they actually need that. They need that support at home to actually, because the purpurium, the period after there is the period after childbirth, the postpartum, the puerperium, the first 42 days, first 42 weeks.
Okay.
So first 6 weeks, first
Okay.
6 weeks
First
of
6 weeks.
like, it's very important. So you have to give them that emotional support and also be there for them to actually help them to go through that phase. And support at home is important, starting from the husband, from the friends, families, or friends, even at work. There have to be a friendly environment at work where women, from time to time during their breaks, they can have a break time where they can go sit, breastfeed their baby, come back to work and all that. It should be something like that at the workplace, not necessarily keeping, because if you want to say they should be there for full 6 months breastfeeding at home, at some point it might get tiring. But those that want to work, if they have an enabling environment at their workplace where they know when they come they can comfortably breastfeed their baby without being exposed, it will go a long way in helping them.
Now that you're talking about support, let's start from the hospital. The hospital, what kind of support did the hospital community give to a woman as regard to breastfeeding?
Okay, one of the counseling we do before she's discharged from the hospital after childbirth is to counsel her properly and even teach her how to breastfeed properly.
Okay.
From the positioning, from the care of the breast, how you wash and make sure the breast is okay, wash the nipple, and then taking care of the baby, positioning the baby. You know, they said bring the breast to the baby, not bring the baby to the breast, not the breast to the baby. You know, baby has to latch on the nipple fully, so that the baby sucks and not dragging or pulling the nipple. The baby should suck, and that is what is going to bring about the milk let down and then the flow. So we teach them, we observe them for at least 48 hours and be sure that they're actually doing it properly. If they have a support, maybe their husband is there, well, we encourage the husband to be there to actually see. If the mother is there, we also encourage to actually watch what the daughter is doing so that they can help out at home, showing her how to do it. And you have to breastfeed at all times, on demand. It has to be on demand. And that's why I say, as long as you are okay, you're relaxed, you can just put the baby to breast and allow the baby to do the sucking.
All right, thank you.
But women actually really take it very seriously when it comes to breastfeeding their babies. That's what I have noticed. Except for those that took ill. You know, sometimes in the process, some women get ill. You know, trying to see how they could manage the baby and sometimes the pain they have incurred on them. So when it occurs like that, you see the mothers are very, very not so happy when they're not able to allow their babies to suck sufficiently enough. One, they are thinking of the pain they are passing through. Two, you know, sometimes in breastfeeding, after putting breast to the baby, and some of the women that are able to breastfeed at once, lucky ones, they're okay. But do you know that in the process of breastfeeding at once, that some of them incur a lot of pain, stomach pain, waist pain, a lot of discomfort that makes them find it difficult to do this job properly. What do you think of that?
Yes, that's where the support comes in, because if they know that pain, you're right about that pain, because as as long as there's a milk letdown reflex that occurs, there's also release of oxytocin in the process. It also helps to contract the uterus after childbirth and return it back to its pre-pregnancy state. So as the baby is sucking, it's a good thing for the mother because it helps involution. The baby, the uterus returning back to its pre-pregnancy state. So, and that's the pain that women usually feel, because you feel that contractions. You feel those contractions that you are actually in labor again. That's the uterus trying to contract and return back to its pre-pregnancy. It's also beneficial to the mother. So, what we usually advise is adequate analgesics. Yes, adequate analgesics. We have to at least make sure that the woman is pain-free during this time, so that it will aid allow her to properly breastfeed and get the benefits.
Now let's talk about because I've seen women who say only breast milk cannot feed. You remember we talked about it at the beginning of this program.
Yes.
Only breast milk cannot is not
Satisfy,
feeding.
yes.
So some persons add water.
Yes. Yeah, in that case, it's no
Yeah,
longer.
they feed the baby water.
It's no longer exclusive breastfeeding. It's now predominant breastfeeding.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that predominant means the breast milk is more, but once in a while, once in a while, there's water being added or water-based solution being given to the baby, like glucose solution or maybe formula feed. That's now predominant breastfeeding, no longer exclusive. Exclusive means it's all breast milk, nothing else.
Okay, so will that child still benefit? Will still have the benefit of being exclusively the benefit that comes with exclusive breastfeeding now that they've added water?
Well, like I said, the colostrum is actually very most important.
Okay.
As long as that child receives that colostrum, yes,
Okay.
it's the one that's the liquid gold we keep pampering on.
Okay.
As long as that baby receives that, yes, that's what we want because it's protective for the baby.
Okay. Now let's talk a little about stigma. Because I see, I don't know if you have gotten this kind of complaints from mothers. Mothers being stigmatized when they breastfeed their baby. Like for instance, the woman in the bus, a public transport, and the baby is crying, seriously crying. Madam, feed your baby now, madam, give her milk. And she's, she's shy to like breastfeed the baby. And I have seen a woman who brought out her breast to feed her baby in an open space, and no be small talk. As in, the backlash was something else. So I don't know if you get this kind of complaints, and what advice would you give, to women?
Yes, the complaints are there. The complaints are there, and they are genuine because, for you as a mother, if breastfeeding in the open, it might sound weird to some persons because it's supposed to be you're exposing what should be private, and then you depriving your baby from breast milk because you are apparently in an open space. It's also another stuff. So you have to strike a balance, and that's why if you'll be out, for a long time, maybe carrying your baby along and all that, there's a place where you can actually express the breast milk into to bottles. Yes, although it's not advised feeding, but at that particular scenario, there's nothing else you can do apart from doing that at that point in time, so that the baby can breastfeed from that bottle. Yes, but afterwards, it's important that the baby sucks from it, because those bottles, if it's not properly washed, can be a reservoir for microorganisms, and afterwards that can cause infection to the baby.
Okay. All right. So there's this talk. Well, we'll go on a break, but before, let me just say so that I don't forget it. Babies who lost their mom, during birth and all that, and they don't get that chance of being breastfed. Is there like a breast milk bank where mothers and babies of these situations can get, natural breast milk to feed? But while you ponder on that, let's go on a quick break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, thanks for being there. So we are still discussing the power of breast milk. Of course, breast milk is a powerful tool. That's why it's called the liquid gold. And we have Dr. Ekom here in the studio with us, doing justice to this topic, creating awareness and talking about the importance of breast milk. All right, doctor, I asked a question about breast milk bank, and you were going to say something?
Yes, yes, you're right. Ideally, there's a whole called breast milk bank for babies like that, where that would require breast milk being given at least during the first few days or months of life. So in such scenarios, we usually those breasts are being usually the mothers are being screened and sure that they do not have transmittable disease or inheritable illnesses that could be transmitted, and then yes, it can be done. Usually can be done. Some developed countries, they have access.
So what is stopping us from having such a thing?
You know, it's
because
it's weird, kind of traditionally.
Yes,
trying to go express your breast milk for someone or a baby you don't really know, and then even giving a baby a breast milk from another person that is something traditionally that is
you know, if coming from a doctor, I can see your whole body language and everything. You are a doctor and you're doing this. Now talk about us.
No, I'm just trying to mimic how they keep the,
and it's the truth anyway.
The society we are living in frown at, or they see it as something that is.
But is it actually wrong? Because if for a mother who is lactating and then you cannot breastfeed or this baby cannot, and she simply offers her breast milk, isn't that something we should applaud? Why should people discriminate against it?
No, it's an applaudable stuff.
Okay.
And I think it should be encouraged. It should be encouraged.
Okay.
Should be encouraged because it's something for those babies. It's an opportunity for them to actually assess the benefit of this
breast milk.
Breast milk, yes, it's important.
You know, there's this question I wanted to ask. Fuck you, Mama. Sorry, let me ask before you call me. You know, there's grandmas when they go to visit their grandchildren and the baby is crying. They always want to breastfeed the baby, even though she's old and everything. Some people say if that grandma continues, there would be breast milk. How true is this?
It has not been scientifically proven. That's all I can say. It has not been scientifically proven.
But it's true.
But yes, it has been reported, but it has not been scientifically. Let me use that word because some persons will say yes, it does. I've given, and I saw breast coming out, but have you proven it scientifically that it's actually breast milk that was expressed to that baby, or just water?
Frankie Grandma said
it's true. But I say it's true, you know. Yes,
Oh, really?
Yes, sure.
Oh.
I've heard about it. I've heard about it, but you know, what has not been proven scientifically.
Doctor. Anyway, you are also saying the truth.
Okay.
I am also saying the truth.
Yes.
My experience.
Yeah, but we need a valid. Yes, you need a study to be done on it for it to be.
You know, even the baby will be grasping for it.
No, babies naturally they cling to breasts. That's the first reflex is the routine reflex, trying to look for where the breast and nipple is.
To suck.
Yes. So anyone they see at the time, they suck. Yes.
Because sometimes some women that actually go for babies to adopt, you know, do it, and it works out.
Okay.
Yeah, you get a baby, and the baby is still at that stage of still sucking, and maybe you're happy, you just want to, oh, thank God, I'm going to be a mother, and you begin to nurse
breastfeed the baby.
You will begin to feel like a mom.
Yeah, but not a grandma.
Not a grandma.
Yes, not a grandma.
But
if you tell me about a younger lady, I can understand because of that hypothalamic pituitary reflex I was talking about.
Okay.
It could occur.
Even
in women that did not have not given birth or did not just give birth. It can occur. But when you say elderly women, grandmas that have probably they are in their menopause and all that, I won't want to. I
But then liquids come out, but what we are not sure now.
Yeah, whether it is breast milk or
Yes,
not,
yes.
because
Okay.
sometimes if that child was brought to life and unfortunately the mother dies, and the child finds him or herself with his grandma, it continues.
Depends on how, when you say grandma, how old is the grandma?
Oh, grandma like me now.
Okay, so let's take a tweet to see if we could change the trajectory of our discussion. We have just one tweet, and it's from Dr. Babatunde, and he says, a gentle reminder, breastfeeding of babies is the only thing that prevents breast cancer and to some extent cervical cancer, not breast sucking by men. So don't let a man lie to you that they are doing you a favor. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
No, okay, so this is a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know this is a problem.
Yes,
So many
really.
men deceiving you and
Yeah,
telling you, oh, if you don't do this, you're going to have breast cancer. So thank God we have a male doctor. So tell us, doctor, how true is it?
It has not been scientifically proven. It's
Doctor,
not, because we encourage breast, like the tweet rightly said, it's important because it prevents
breast cancer,
yes,
cervical
some form
cancer.
of cervical cancer, but sucking from the men, I don't know about that one. I know breastfeeding babies is actually
Yeah, but we've
important.
heard doctors saying these things. That, you know, many women who they say do shakara with the breast, you know, if you don't do this, you're going to have breast cancer. So could it be another way of, you know, brainwashing women?
So
I
that
thought there
they
could
can
be
allow-
some scientific, you know.
Until I see an article on it published on that, I won't want to stick my neck to it.
Oh my goodness! All right, fucking grandma,
Alright,
you want
so
to
then why do we actually go all out to celebrate World
breastfeeding?
Breastfeeding Day?
Okay.
Okay, that's very good.
Why?
It's actually a very good thing because breastfeeding is actually giving life to the baby, in the sense that you are actually not just feeding the baby, you are actually protecting the baby against long-term illnesses and diseases that the baby could be prone to, not just in the immediate infancy period, but even adolescents and even going into adulthood. So it's actually something worth celebrating, and also the mothers. It's actually worth celebrating because it's not an easy task. Breastfeeding, especially if you are exclusively breastfeeding for that long, for 6 months. So they should be commended, they should be encouraged, they should be supported to actually give him their best. And that's why yearly it's being celebrated to encourage these women and also continue to create the awareness that breastfeeding is actually a very, very important aspect.
Okay, so I saw one of the breast milk helping for women's mental health and physics, you know, their physical appearance and all that. Is it in any way related? Like, you know, has breastfeeding, does it have anything to do with the woman's physical appearance and mental health?
No.
Oh.
In the mental and the physical and mental health, all that involves support. The amount of support she gets during that postpartum period is actually what helps her mentally, because she might be breastfeeding and she might go into what we call puerperal blues. She might be breastfeeding and still go into what we call depression, and that's going to also affect the baby. Postpartum depression, even postpartum, some point postpartum psychosis. That's at the tail end, the extreme of the spectrum. So it's actually the support she gets. She's passed through 9 months of carrying this child, and then coming to now realize that she still has another 6 months to keep breastfeeding. She needs to be encouraged, she needs to be supported by however means or whatever means she can get the support from. I forgot to mention something.
Okay.
It's also important because it acts as a family planning. I mean, this exclusive breastfeeding.
Okay.
It acts as a family planning. It helps to keep the mother amenorrheic for the period she's breastfeeding exclusively.
Is it actually scientifically proven? Since you like to use that word, so let's see, because the if you check statistics, the duration of the first child and the second child of most families, it's always very slim. Yeah, because the second pregnancy is always something that
you don't expect.
Yes. And the mothers are always on exclusive breastfeeding. So
how are you sure they are always on exclusive breastfeeding?
Okay, me for instance, I'm a living testimony. I'm telling you, exclusively breastfeeding my child, but it happened. And I know of many of my friends like that too. So you see,
that's a small percentage compared to the larger percentages of women that go amenorrheic for that period of 6 months are exclusively breastfeeding. That's all I can say, because it actually helps. It helps.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with the doctor.
That does not mean if, to be sure, it's actually. It's when you want to put that aspect of the contraception, it's actually very low down the ranking of form of contraception. Because it's very low. There are other better forms of contraception that can be given that would actually last long, and the failure rate will be reduced compared to this.
Oh.
Yes. So that does not mean there's no failure rate. When you talk about contraception, there's actually a failure rate in every contraceptive. So exclusively breastfeeding your baby is a form of contraception, but does not mean that there's no failure associated with it. There's actually a failure rate associated with it.
Okay. I'm glad we talked about that, because I see so many persons talking about it, family planning during exclusive breastfeeding, how much it has failed depending on the exclusive breastfeeding, thinking it's a major family planning and it flopped. So I'm glad you cleared that out. So let's talk about, are there other hormonal change women go through during this breastfeeding that affect them, and apart from the postpartum? Are there other hormonal change, like does breastfeeding make you add weight? Does breastfeeding help you lose weight? Are there other changes in a woman's physique that comes as a result of breastfeeding?
Okay. First of all, after childbirth, the body naturally tends to reset itself to return back to its pre-pregnancy state. And that means those hormones that were elaborated during pregnancy would now start reducing. And those that were reduced, that were supposed to be normal pre-pregnancy period, because the lady got pregnant, were now reduced, will now start building up. So there are those hormonal changes that take place. And then that's for the milk, the production of the milk. Obviously the hormones responsible for that will be well elaborated for adequate milk production. And so we usually advise that in as much as the woman is breastfeeding, she should also keep fit, mild or moderate exercises, eat well, at least a well-balanced diet, and then rest. Those are things that would actually help the body in also while the body itself is trying to get back to its pre-pregnancy period. You are also doing your best to actually put the body in good shape for it to return quickly and as possible.
Okay. Now, is there a relationship with what the mother eats and what the child gets from the breast milk?
Yes, obviously.
Now, when the mother says, "I am hungry, I can't breastfeed," is that an excuse? Is that genuine?
No, if you're hungry, why don't you eat?
No. I heard a mother says she hasn't eaten.
No.
So she can't breastfeed.
No, it doesn't stop you from breastfeeding. It doesn't stop you from
Doctor,
breastfeeding.
why that? Why that? You're human, and probably, okay, for instance, you came back from work.
Because you might be hungry, but your breast might be engorged with milk for the baby to suck on at that point.
Okay, even in a situation where the woman actually notices that there's no breast milk enough for the baby.
Yeah, she
Is
eats.
that a result of the her not eating?
Yes, it can be.
Yes.
It can be as a result of her not eating. But saying that you are hungry and you're having an engorged breast milk and say, I'm not going to breastfeed my baby because I'm hungry, I want to, you breastfeed your baby and then you can go eat. But if there's no breast milk coming out, you can eat, get yourself
Replenish.
full, replenish, and then you breastfeed your baby.
I know one thing for free is that women do eat a lot when they are breastfeeding.
Yeah, because the baby suckles more. The more the baby suckles, the more you get hungry almost every other time, because you need, the baby is also taking nutrients from you, so you also have to replenish.
That's a very quick way to add so much weight. Now we know why.
That's why I said you also have to at least moderate exercises alongside so that you don't overweight. You don't get overweight. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mama. Now, okay, you guys have is there anything special happening this year for the awareness creation?
No, for now, no. No, for now. It's just the team. We usually used to have a walk, an awareness, breastfeeding awareness walk, and then we go to hospitals and then try to educate women about it. But like a rally, for now, no, I'm not sure.
I know it's a improvement. I know there has been some, reasonable improvement from breastfeeding. Mothers are breastfeeding because the economic is hard. You know how much baby feed costs now.
So now they don't have a choice.
They don't have to do it.
They don't have a choice. So most of these mothers who say, I cannot do because of this, by the time you hit the market and see the prices of baby milk, I'm sure you sit yourself down and breastfeed your baby.
Usually affordable, it's feasible, it's accessible, and it's sustainable. You understand? That's breast milk for you. So if you want to compare it to the formula feed, it's the best.
And the prices of the formula.
Yeah, that's why I said it's affordable. The breast milk is affordable.
Oh my goodness.
But doctor, do you also believe that if a woman does not feed well,
yes, it affects the production? Yes, it does affect the production.
Does it affect the growth of the baby?
It affects the production of the breast milk.
Okay.
So the baby will not get adequate breast milk to suck on.
All right, so what advice would you give to women, those that are on the way to getting pregnant, those that are pregnant and those that are, breastfeeding?
Okay, what I will say is they should know that breastfeeding is the best for newborns.
Okay.
And exclusively breastfeeding your baby, it's also very, very important because it protects your baby from illnesses during the first 6 months of life. Also enriches your baby developmentally, the brain, the bones, the various systems, particularly the brain development is actually very important for the brain development of the baby. And breastfeeding does not mean, breastfeeding alone does not mean the baby is not going to be satisfied. The baby has all it takes, water, nutrient, everything in that breast milk to be satisfied. As long as you keep giving that baby breast milk on demand, the baby would always be filled. So you shouldn't say the breast milk is not enough. Yes, it's not a reason why you should not breastfeed your baby. And it's also protective, like I said, against future gynecological issues that could arise, and also as a form of contraception during that period is also very important. So all in all, please, we should take breastfeeding as a very important aspect. And it's usually taught in the hospital just before you are discharged after childbirth. They will teach you on how to breastfeed. The processes from the cleaning of the breast to the positioning of the baby and how the baby should suck. All that will be taught before you leave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Now, before we go, how about storing of breast milk? For women who have so much milk coming out production, how can they store this milk and how long and how should they store it for future use?
Yeah, it can be expressed and stored under normal room temperature for at least 4 hours.
Okay.
Breast milk can last. And then for those that are refrigerated, at least 4 days. Those that are in the freezer can even last for months, for at least 4 months.
Okay.
So it's something that can be stored. If you want to keep it out, room air, room temperature, at least 4 hours it should be exhausted. Then if you want to store in the refrigerator, at least for 4 days it can be stored.
Okay.
Yes.
Because we have mothers who produce these things like.
Yes, we do.
Wow. All right, thank you so much, Doctor, for coming on the show today. It was really nice having you, Dr. Ekomobong Udo. Okay, so thank you so much also for joining us on this journey to explore the incredible benefits of breast milk. We hope you learned something new and valuable to support you on your own breastfeeding journey or to share with others. Remember, every drop counts, and every moment of breastfeeding is a gift of love and nourishment to both the mom and the baby. So until next time, stay informed, stay supported, and let's keep celebrating the power of breast milk. So from all of us here, it's bye-bye and thanks for watching.
Thank you.